I would like to offer some recommendations to people who might want to try creating a YouTube channel where they talk about stuff, real deep stuff from the inside, and talk about ideas that they've learned and things that they've experienced and wisdom that they might be able to impart to others. The first thing I would say is think of a topic, state the topic directly, and jump right in. Don't do a lot of long introductions, because I see a lot of people who make videos, myself included when I first attempted this process, long introductions to let the audience know who we are. And it's boring. And it's diversionary. And it doesn't really serve anybody, because when people watch these things, in my opinion, also from watching videos myself, there's a lot that we pick up without having to have it described to us. So I don't need to go into a long description about myself. So basically the first thing is jump right into the topic and get going. Take off the training wheels and ride that bike at full speed. The second thing I would say is be as brave as you possibly can. Speak the truth to the absolute best of your ability, and speak to an audience that you believe is as healthy as possible. So what I mean by that is, don't argue your message for people who aren't going to hear it anyway. Speak your message to people who are ready for it, or who you believe are ready for it. Give it your absolute best. I really try that. I do my best to do that. I speak about how sick the family system is, and I don't beat around the bush. Well, some people might say that it's troubled, and some people might say that some parents have some troubled sides. No. Most parents are really screwed up. They have no business having children. They're a mess. They're dysfunctional. They traumatize their children. That's what I try to do, because I really believe it also. Come right out and say it. And yes, it rubs some people the wrong way, and some people give a lot of backlash. And even I'm scared of, because in the unhealed, troubled parts of me, I'm scared of my own message. But you know what? My message is not for the troubled sides of other people. It's not for the most troubled people. It's not for the conventional people. I'm trying to find the healthiest people to speak to, and the healthiest parts of myself that still need to hear this message. So that would be my recommendation here. Speak to a high-level audience and do your best to be direct, get to the point, don't beat around the bush, and don't qualify your message. So let me see if there's a third thing that I would say. I would say, how do I formulate this? Use your own personal life as an example to back up your message, but at the same time, don't reveal so much that it hurts yourself. What do I mean by that? Because I certainly share a lot of very personal stuff in the videos that I make on this channel, but at the same time, I also do protect myself to a degree. It's like I want some of my personal life to remain personal. I don't reveal a lot about, well, friendships I've had. There's certain things in my family, in my extended family system. I don't talk about certain people, especially people who are younger than me. But my parents, I feel like I have full right to talk about them. I also feel like it's okay to talk about a lot of my foibles in this existence, a lot of the mistakes that I have made. I feel like they're a great case example. Yet at the same time, another very personal part of my life and my history that I basically almost never, or pretty much never talk about, is my experience as a psychotherapist. Like my clients, I don't want to talk about them. My past psychotherapy clients, that's private, that's confidential. Even though it's fascinating case material, it deeply backs up a lot of the things that I'm sharing. That private world is private. There are a number of people in my personal private life who are not therapy clients of mine who are also private, and certain aspects of my own history still very painful, perhaps unresolved, that are private. So it's like finding that, I guess that would be the message, how I would encapsulate this third message, is find that balance between revealing personal, private things that make the message interesting and drive it home, and yet at the same time keeping that boundary between keeping certain private, confidential things private and confidential. And I think the last thing is, if you're going to share your message in a public way like this on YouTube, I would say, if you make a video, sit on it for a little while. Think about if you really want to do this. Basically, give yourself some time to decide if you want to break your anonymity, meaning if you're ready to show your face and your name and the message from your heart in a public forum. I didn't start sharing myself in this way, certainly not on video, until, well, I made my first videos like this public when I was 37 years old. That's 17 years ago. But even for a few years before this, I'd been doing a lot of writing and making my writing public and with my name attached to it. And that was really hard. But the thing that I'm saying here is, it's not a bad thing to wait until you're a little bit older. I think there can be an idea in the public sphere now that it's okay for young people to just put their face out and put their ideas out and share their opinions in video when they're very young. And I think it's quite dangerous, because the thing is, once it's out in public, in some ways you can't take it back. And although you can be very helpful to people in some ways by sharing messages, I found, this is why I keep doing it, because I find that I can be very helpful to people. And that's a wonderful feeling. I feel it's a great way to use my existence, use the pain of my existence, the horror of certain aspects of my existence, use the mistakes I've made, also use the strength that I've gained, the strength that I learned through hard experience that I have. Also, the wisdom that I've gained. It's so valuable, but at the same time, there are consequences to it. And that's very important to realize. That's why I say with this fourth message of mine, this fourth bit of wisdom perhaps, to sit on it for a while and think, are you ready to face the consequences? That if you're going to make videos, because I think about this always, if I'm going to make videos, I could put it in the I form. If I am going to share any video, this one included, I want to make sure it's not going to hurt me. I want to have it be two things. I want to have it be helpful, maximize the usefulness to others, and minimize the harm to me. The thing is, by sharing about real stuff that goes against conventional ideas, threatens the family system, there can and will be consequences. And these consequences can be really painful. I've suffered a lot because of the videos that I make. Even today, I'm tired. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm exhausted. I didn't sleep well last night, had bad dreams, was under a lot of stress because I recorded videos yesterday. And it kicked up a lot in me, the idea, oh my God, I might share these videos in a public forum. It always happens to me. Ooh, very, very stressful. When I make a video public, it's not like, yes, I made a great artistic creation and now I get to share it with the world, hurrah. Yes, there's a part of me that's always proud of a good video that I make. But when I share them publicly, a lot of times, most of the time, it's like, oh no, what's going to happen now? And yes, there are consequences. So I would just say, sit on videos you make for a while, think about them. Maybe even run them by some trusted people in your life to see what they think. And get some feedback to see if you are ready to hear the world's feedback, because the general public, the general conventional norm, can be pretty rough sometimes, and it hurts. It really can hurt. It can be very stressful. But I think most dangerous is one's own family system. It can be very hateful if you share the truth that doesn't coincide with what they require you to share in order to love you. Meaning, if you don't share it, they might hate you. And the other final thing is that, yes, they have traumatized you. I still am partially traumatized. We all are to some degree. And those partially traumatized sides within us can react negatively with a lot of fear and anxiety to our own public messages. And this can have a lot of negative effects in our present day stability. And so it's good to know before we make things public, are we ready to handle this? And I'd say one way to do this, perhaps, and it certainly works for me, is to do a lot of journaling and to see just how journaling for my own private self, for my own private consumption, for my own private mirroring, how does that affect me? Because that is an indicator, a good indicator often, of how it is going to be to take the next step, sometimes the next extreme step, of sharing one's own inner private ideas and one's face in a public forum.